Find out your rights to protect yourself legally in a road rage incident. Hi, I'm Marc Lopez, former prosecutor turned defender of the people, and let's talk about how self-defense applies in road rage situations. Road rage is on the up. Ever since 2020 lockdown, incidents have surged, arrests have surged. I've been a lawyer for nearly 20 years. I've never seen so many road rage incidents that people got arrested for. I've never seen so many reckless driving arrests. People are just driving like, for lack of a better word, complete jerks. And I'm seeing that in my business. And so one of the questions I get is, what can I do if I'm a victim in a road rage? Can I defend myself? How far can I go in self-defense? So let's break it down. Self-defense is a legal justification for using force against somebody else. That's the bottom line. Many states, including Indiana, have 4 requirements for self-defense. The first is you must be in a place where you have the right to be. So you can't be trespassing on someone's property and then say, hey, I was defending myself when they try to kick you off. Number 2, you must have acted without fault. You're not the one starting the problems. You're not out there causing chaos. And then when someone stands up to you, all of a sudden you're saying, well, I was just defending myself. You have to have acted without fault. Number 3, your response to the danger must be reasonable. Now, there's 2 parts to that. There's subjective reasonableness and there's objective reasonableness. Subjective reasonableness, did you personally believe that you were in immediate danger? And the objective reasonableness, would a reasonable person in that same situation also believe they were in danger? And so both parts of those reasonableness has to be there for self-defense to be victorious. And the 4th requirement is it has to be proportional. Your response must be proportional to the threat you're dealing with. If a little old lady comes and smacks you, you can't pull out a bat and beat her down. If somebody comes at you with fists, it's going to be hard to justify you coming at them with deadly force, with a bang bang type situation, unless they're super aggressive or they're mean, they're 3 times the size of you. Perhaps an old lady had to use deadly force against a person that was 3 times the size, who she just saw beat up some people. So there's always ways to argue that, but those are the 4 requirements for self-defense. So let's apply self-defense in a road rage situation. I have seen road rage in all sorts of crazy situations. I have seen people just be mad that someone took too long to go after light turned green. I've seen people get mad because somebody changed lanes without using the blinkers for a sufficient period enough time for their satisfaction. And I've seen cars ram other cars. I've seen drivers honk the horns, get out and run up to other cars. And so the person who is the victim of the road rage, can they use self-defense? And the answer is yes, so long as they follow the 4 requirements of self-defense that many states, including Indiana, have. Had to have acted without fault. Just bad driving by itself is not going to make them at fault and subject them to violence and not be able to use self-defense. Number 2, they had to have the right to be where they're at. People have the right to be on public roads. That's a fact. Now, whatever they do to the person coming up to their car or ramming them, that response must be reasonable, subjectively reasonable and objectively reasonable. So again, if a little old lady comes and is yelling and screaming and waving their fist, the response by the person who's the victim of the road rage incident has to be reasonable. They can probably tell the old lady to shoo, or more better, they can probably just drive off away from them. Now, if the car is being rammed, well, that's a different situation. Car under many states, including Indiana, is a deadly weapon. And if somebody is using a deadly weapon against you, you're allowed to use a deadly weapon against them. I would not encourage anybody to do violence on anybody else because, ultimately, vehicles are replaceable, not so much people. But if you are in the situation, life or death, you are allowed to use deadly force when confronted with deadly force. Now, that being said, the response must be proportional. Again, if somebody is tapping your car, that's obviously scary and frightful, but that may not be justification for escalation with other deadly force type means. So just be very careful. Now, with all that being said, in Indiana, car is a deadly weapon. And then Indiana has special self-defense rules regarding an occupied motor vehicle. I don't care how mad I ever got at somebody's driving. I would never approach an occupied motor vehicle because Indiana has authorized deadly force to prevent occupied motor vehicle from being entered upon by another person. Still has to be reasonable, but just understand that Indiana self-defense statute specifically gives special consideration for occupied motor vehicles. And as an Indiana resident, an Indiana attorney, I would never approach an occupied motor vehicle in a road rage incident. I probably wouldn't approach an occupied motor vehicle in hardly any situation where it's even the smallest bit possible someone could confuse me for being angry or upset. because that has disaster written all over it. So the bottom line is, can somebody use self-defense in a road rage incident? Yes, absolutely. Has to be reasonable, has to be proportional, have to have acted without fault, and have to have the right to be there. But absolutely, if those 4 things are present, they can use self-defense in a road rage incident. I will tell you this, though. If there is an incident with self-defense in a road rage incident, do not talk to the police. The police are trained to make you say statements to weaken your self-defense claim. The police are trained to trick you. The police are trained to get you to say things that look bad on you. If you have a self-defense case, get an attorney immediately. Whether it's road rage or normal self-defense, you want to talk to an attorney. Now, self-defense is a way to beat criminal charges, but in most cases with self-defense, you're not going to be able to avoid the ride, but hopefully we can avoid the conviction. If you have any questions about self-defense, give me a call, 317-632-3642. Remember to always plead the fifth.